Hello my friends, and welcome to the joy of glitch art. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do some glitch art with a technique called pixel sorting. Come along to my studio. So anyway, pixel sorting. This is, let me pull up an example of it. This is a technique for making glitchy effects, as it says here. But in a way, these aren't really glitch effects. These are intentional effects created in an unpredictable way, or it's unpredictable until you see the result. But I think these fall into the category of glitch art for a couple of reasons. They take the file as it originally is, the image file, and then process it as data in a way that's not, you're not supervising, like you don't sort of try it as a brush or a filter and see what result you get. And also to work with it does require a bit of kind of code knowledge and a coding environment. We will be encountering Python as we get into this, but not using Python in the same way that we've been using it in my earlier videos for my class. So, this is a slightly different process that I need to demonstrate as well. But this is a blog post about it. We're going to be using a library by Satyarth, I hope I'm saying that right, who is getting this idea of this technique from Kim Assendorf, who did this in processing. But we're going to be doing this in Python to create images like this one you can see here. Let me see if I can make that. I don't know if I can make that bigger. But this is maybe I can just make the browser bigger. No, I can't. Okay. Anyway, you can kind of see the effect here on the waterfall. And I think pixel sorting does work really well on nature images. So that's what I'm going to try here. I haven't done this already. I don't have it kind of figured out. And in fact, the workflow that I'm going to show you to use this is going to be different than I've ever done it. So, the results for this may be a little bit dodgy, but we'll figure it out. So I found this image just looking for kind of fall images that have a nice sense of depth to them. I found that also works pretty well for pixel sorting. And since this is October, this is Glitchtoberfest, so this is the image I'm going to work with for this glitching activity. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder on my desktop for this particular work. I'll call this Glitchtoberfest. And I'm going to save this. This is from Unsplash again, like I've been doing with these images. So it's a free image for me to use, and I can just thank Thomas Morse for sharing this on Unsplash and letting me use it for this purpose. So I'm going to call it original.jpg. When I was doing data binding, I started by converting these into smaller files and then exporting them as bitmap files. I'm not going to do that for this one, except I am going to make this a smaller file because pixel sorting is a technique that takes a fair amount of processing. It takes a bit of time, and if it's a smaller file, that's less time basically. And this one's very, very large, so you can see 5,000 pixels wide. So that's going to be really kind of inefficient. So I'm going to go ahead and scale this down quite a bit to, let's just say, I'll go down to 1,000. That's still pretty big. Scale that down, pretty decent size still. Should be able to see some of the glitching and the pixel sorting effects pretty clearly. So let's go ahead. Oops, let me make sure I save that as it is and export that as a JPEG now, and should be good. Okay, so just to double check, this is my file. Now it's 385 kilobytes, so that was just me confirming that this is actually now the smaller file that I just made a change to with GIMP. So I can get rid of GIMP. I don't need that now. Okay, so to work with this is a Python script, and so we're not actually going to need to write Python code to make this work. We just need to use Satyarth's script. And the GitHub page for this is github.com/satyarth/pixelsort, and you can see the instructions for how to use it here. In fact, I used this script. This is what I used to make one of my Twitter bots, Crooked Cosmos, and I wrote a little Perl wrapper for it because at the time I only really knew Perl. So I have a Perl script that just configures different parameters to feed into this script by Satyarth, and then it produces these images from outer space images. Pretty cool effects. I like that one. Some of them I don't like as much, but that's kind of the thing with glitch art and generative art. In general, you don't always get results that you like. In fact, that's odd. It has not tweeted since October 6th, and it's been a few days. So I need to go check this runs on a Raspberry Pi in my home, and I know we were cleaning up in that area the other day, so we might have accidentally unplugged it. So I'll have to check on that when I get home. All right, good to know. So let's take a look at this script here. So there are a couple of prerequisites that he tells us we need to make sure, really just one, which is Pillow. And that's an image processing library for Python. If you installed Python with Anaconda, it might already include Pillow in that. If not, you can install it using some of the methods we've done before. So I'm going to go ahead and start my notebook server the way I've been doing it, but I'm going to do a pretty different way of actually working with some code here. So hopefully this will work. All right, so Python notebook, Jupyter notebook. There we go. So this is also going to open in Firefox, so it'll be helpful for me to keep these things straight. So my notebook server is going to be running in Firefox, as you see here, and then the information that I'm going to be looking at is over here in Chrome for how to use it. So let me get to my desktop. This is my Glitchtoberfest folder, and so this is where I'm going to make. I want to make a notebook just to kind of. You know what? Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not going to make a notebook. I want to do this a different way. There is a different way to access Python from the Jupyter interface, and that's using a terminal. Now, as far as I can tell, this terminal is built inside of the Python environment that has been installed with Jupyter Notebook. It's not necessarily the same as the Python environment that I'm actually more used to using, just straight from the terminal. This, I think, is a virtual environment. I say I think because I haven't fully tested this, but if I'm right, then this means that you, if you're a user of Jupyter Notebook, should be able to run it this way, and I think it should also probably work this way if you run it through azure.com, the notebooks.azure.com. Hosted in the cloud like that. I'll have to test that method, but I think it'll work. I'll try it anyway. I'll try it the way I'm doing it now anyway, and hopefully this will make sense. So we're going to start a terminal, and this terminal now is going to be running in Firefox, and it looks a lot like the terminal that I have here that I usually use to start Jupyter Notebook, but it's going to be running here in the browser, and it's actually running in the Python environment that comes with Jupyter Notebook in this case. So it's the same kind of thing, though. You start typing here. This does take a little bit of orientation, and if you're not used to this kind of thing, I'll show you a couple of things you need to know. But first of all, we want to see if we have Pillow installed. And so as you see, Pip Install Pillow should work. So I'm going to try that first. Now, when we were installing libraries from the notebook method, you might remember we have to put an exclamation point in front of the pip command. That exclamation point just says, treat this like a shell command. Since we're in a shell right now, or a terminal, we don't need to put that exclamation point there in this case. It's just kind of implied that this is already the environment we're in. So this should work. Let's try it. Pip install pillow. You should use what? Failed to import the site module. Your Python path points to a site packages derived from Python 2, but you're running Python 3. Okay. That's fine. Okay, so I am running Python 3, and I want to keep with Python 3, so I'm going to just see if this will work. Instead of running pip, which apparently is going to be pointing to Python 2, I'm going to just run pip 3. So you see the difference there. I added a 3 to that, and now I'm running pip 3, which should just reference the Python 3 library. So let's see if that works. No, that didn't work either.